Hello friends, how's it going? It's Sunday, April something, 2020. You know, now, more than ever, we need to laugh. We need to feel good. I wanted to do my part to try to help heal us during these trying times because laughter is the best medicine. I've reached in to my tubs of things that I've saved, and I have this book of outrageously offensive jokes. This was published in 1983, and it's full of some real winners. So if you want to laugh, come along. Oh, these are going to get my YouTube channel demonetized, for sure. Are you ready? Oh boy. I guess there's a cat in this scene. What's the difference between mononucleosis and herpes? You get mono by snatching a kiss. What do you call a child raised in a house of ill repute? A brothel sprout. Did you hear what happened to the man who had sex with his canary? He got twerpies. And the worst thing is, it's untweetable. No. Now this book was written by Maude Thickett, which is a 100% real name. So the contents of our book are divided into 10 chapters. We have celebrities, Hey Leroy, maladies, Goldstein, Goldman, and Goldberg, various villainies, Italians, or never let a day go by. Nope. In a word, sex. Oh, Poles and the Pope. I see. Fruits and nuts. Yeah, fruits and nuts. Get it? Racial mixtures, because that is hilarious. Manny likes it. Manny's already getting his chuckles in. All right, I guess we'll start with celebrities. How can you identify Dolly Parton's kids at a party? They're the ones with stretch marks around their mouths. Why was Lady Di disappointed on her honeymoon? She thought that all rulers had 12 inches. Why does Don Meredith have so many children? He uses flow-through tea bags. Nope, not reading that one. How did Helen Keller's parents punish her? They left the plunger in the toilet bowl. Where did Prince Charles spend his honeymoon? In Diana. Nope. What part of Popeye never rusts? The part he puts in olive oil. What do Linda Lovelace and the Bermuda Triangle have in common? They both swallow semen. Why can't you go to the bathroom at a Beatles concert? There's no John. You like that one? Great. The next chapter is called Hey Leroy, and I don't think I'll be reading too many out of this chapter. Very hateful. All right, these are non-specific. Did you hear about the guy who lost his whole left side in an accident? He's all right. How did Herpes leave the hospital? On crutches. How did the leper stop the card game? He threw his hand in. How did Captain Hook meet his death? Jock itch. What happened when the butcher backed into his meat grinder? He got a little behind in his orders. What's the difference between love and herpes? Herpes is forever. Ask a leper for an inch and he'll give you a foot. This one bothers me. Did you hear about the man who had 5 pricks? His pants fit him like a glove. Now, unless the pants had a place in the crotch for 5 dicks, I don't see how that's possible. Now, if he put a glove on his 5 dicks, that makes more sense, because each of the fingers would be a place for one of the dicks. But a pair of pants isn't shaped like that, so that wouldn't make any sense. I don't like that. That's not funny. Next chapter is Goldstein, Goldman, and Goldberg. I don't know. Maxie was going down on Becky when she farted. Maxie looked up. "Thank God," he said. "A breath of fresh air." How do Jewish American princesses like to make love? Facing Bloomingdale's. How can you tell when a Jewish woman has an orgasm? She drops her nail file. All right. That's a funny joke. Various villainies. I don't know what this is about yet, but we're going to find out. Manny's having a good time. Oh, I guess this is where I got this joke. Oh, why do female paratroopers wear jockstraps? So they don't whistle on the way down. Hilarious. Did you hear what happened to the fly on the toilet seat? He got pissed off. You didn't like that one? I know. How can you tell a macho woman? She rolls her own tampons. What do the Rockettes and the circus have in common? The circus is a cunning array of stunts. How would you describe a cow after an abortion? Decaffeinated. What do you get when a canary flies into a screen door? Shredded tweet. How do you get a tissue to dance? Blow a little boogie into it. Oh. It would appear that I had a bookmark in this. It is a coupon for Juicy Fruit that expired in 1997 on the back of a Fruitopia label. What do a coffin and a condom have in common? They're both filled with stiffs, only one's coming and one's going. What's brown and has holes in it? Swiss shit. Why did the man with the legless dog call his pet Cigarette? Because every so often he'd take him for a drag. Have you heard there's a new line of designer jeans called Crisco? It's for the woman with fat in the can. That is not appropriate anymore. You can't make jokes like that anymore. It's bad. What's green and skates? Peggy phlegm. What's green and slides down the hospital walls? Mucus Welby. These must be celebrities of the time. I was only 7. What's grosser than gross? When you kiss your grandmother and she slips you the tongue. Why do you wrap a hamster in electrician's tape? So it won't explode when you fuck it. Bernie liked that one. I've been shying away from the longer ones, but how about this for a treat? During the science lesson, the teacher asked her 3rd graders if they could tell how a cat's tail was connected to its body. "How about you, Jimmy?" said the teacher. "Come up here and use the model on my desk." Little Jimmy approached the model and studied it thoroughly. "Well, by the look of those nuts, I'd say the damn thing's bolted on." What's green and flies over Berlin? Snotsies. How do you find a foxhole? Lift its tail. What's so great about being a test tube baby? You have a womb with a view. A man gets drunk at a party and his friends call a cab to take him home. Once in the cab, the man starts to tell the cabbie about his life, how lonely he's been since his wife left him, how hard his job is, and how no one appreciates him. "You seem like a nice guy," the drunk says. "Yeah," says the cabbie indifferently. "What do you say? Do you think there's room in the front seat for a pizza and a couple of 6-packs? The driver thinks about it for a minute and says, "Sure, why not?" "Gee, thanks," says the drunk, leans over the partition and throws up. What's the difference between a fox and a pig? 6 drinks. What's red and white and lives in a test tube? Bozo the clone. Why do women have 2 holes so close together? In case you miss. What species of deer is found near pickle factories? Dildos. How do you recycle a used tampon? As a tea bag for vampires. What's the difference between a woman kneeling in prayer and a woman kneeling in the bathtub? The woman kneeling in prayer has hope in her soul. Now we're going to move on to hilarious Italian jokes. Italians, or never let a day go by. I see. I don't know how many of these I'll be reading. What does eating pussy and being a member of the mafia have in common? One slip of the tongue and you're in deep shit. Great. Now we're going to move on to the next chapter. In a word, sex. Great. Did you hear about the little boy who, while passing his parents' bedroom, stared in and said, "And you have the nerve to slap me for sucking my thumb?" What do Rubik's Cube and a penis have in common? The longer you play with it, the harder it gets. What's a 68? You do me, and I owe you one. What's the difference between men and jelly beans? Jelly beans come in different colors. How many mice does it take to screw in a light bulb? 2, but don't ask me how they got there. Why does an elephant have 4 feet? Because 8 inches isn't enough. What do soybeans and dildos have in common? They're both meat substitutes. What has 1,000 teeth and holds back a monster? My zipper. Did you hear about the merger of Xerox and Wurlitzer? The new company will make reproductive organs. What is the square root of 69? 8 something. What's better than 4 roses on a piano? 2 lips on an organ. What do butter and a hooker have in common? They both spread for bread. What is the difference between ooh and ah? About 4 inches. When does a Cub Scout become a Boy Scout? When he eats his first brownie. What's a 72? A 69 with 3 people watching. What do you call a happy Roman? Glad he ate her. Is sex better than pot? It depends on the pusher. What do you call a truck full of vibrators? Toys for twats. What's the difference between your sister and a Cadillac? Most people haven't been in a Cadillac. Why don't chickens need underwear? Because their peckers are on their faces. Did you hear about the guy who got herpes on his eyelids? He was looking for love in all the wrong places. What do you get when you cross a donkey with an onion? A piece of ass that brings tears to your eye. What do you call a woman who can suck an orange through a garden hose? Darling. We're getting towards the end of our book, friends. Now we're going to move on to Poles and the Pope. I'm not reading any of those. Here we are. Fruits and nuts. This may be ending very quickly. Nope, not reading any of those either. Oh boy. Racial mixtures. That's funny, but I'm not going to read that. What do you call an abortion in Czechoslovakia? A cancelled check. I can read this since I'm very Irish. What's the difference between an Irish wedding and an Irish funeral? One less drunk. Fair enough. What's the German word for bra? Stop 'em from floppin'. Whereas the real German word for bra is this. But I think stop 'em from floppin' is pretty funny. Well, friends, that's about it for Outrageously Offensive Jokes by Maude Thickett. I only read probably 1/10 of what's in here, but I hope I brought a lot of laughter to your day. Thanks for watching and stay cool, babe.